Hey everybody, Tony from Detroit Tesla here, back with another FSD video. We are on version 10.9 and we are heading into downtown Detroit, right by Little Caesars Arena currently. And there was a bunch of release notes. You guys can kind of look them up online. I don't really put them up on the screen or anything like that, like a lot of the other testers do. But I have driven with the system before I made this video, and on certain aspects, in my opinion, it is a little backwards. And we have an interesting situation here. The car in front of us has its hazards on. It says pause, waiting for our turn. I think I'm going to have to take over here, because even though it's both of the hazards are blinking, the car's just not doing anything. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take over here and go around, report that back to the team. It's interesting because it does pick up the hazards, and it does pick up the lights on the screen. Not that the hazards are flashing, so maybe they just haven't gotten around to the programming that yet. But a great way to start off a video, haha. But anyways, yeah, we're heading right into downtown, the heart of downtown right now. Beautiful scenery like always. And most of you that watch these videos from a mobile device or smartphone or tablet, TV, computer, however you consume these videos, based on what I've heard from feedback and watching them myself time to time, just to go back and see what I can do for the next video or change it up. It seems like you guys can see this screen right here pretty good. So I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get that wire and actually record separately the screen onto like a hard drive. I might, I don't know. Let's see how this channel does, and you know how it does rather, and how much time I end up having. So we're heading right into downtown. We're right in the heart of downtown Detroit right now. A light turning to yellow. I feel FSD slowing down. Okay, and what I've noticed in this version is that when it slows down for cars in front of you that are slowing down because of whatever reason they're slowing down, or it goes for a red light, definitely uses regenerative braking like that came in 10.8 a lot more, but also it uses, not uses, but it's a lot more patient, and it's a lot more like chill when it brakes. It's not like abruptly like, oh my god, I'm gonna slam into something, even though you got so much distance. It takes this time, and it's great. We got all these people, you can see them displayed on the screen. It's kind of being cautious around these lovely ladies. And we're heading into Campus Martius, gonna do the famous roundabout, and then we are gonna head towards the area in the last video of 10.8 where the car seems to have a little bit of trouble going through there, and with these kind of like cones or pylons or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what the term is for them, but so far this, you know, besides the beginning where they didn't know what to do around that car with the hazards on, so far this video is pretty good. I don't really see any issues here so far. We are heading into the roundabout where it kind of picks the wrong lane sometimes, and even like in this situation, slowing down because they're turning right, it slows down like I would, you know what I mean? I would use a little bit more regenerative braking. I didn't hover my foot over the brake to see if they're braking. The car is using the brakes, but rather I noticed on the screen that it is using, you gonna stop here? Okay. I think it's had quite of concern time to time with this light, but it still stopped for it. That's good. There's, you know, two set of lights here. So we do have a roundabout. I'm pretty sure it can stay in this lane. I forget, because I don't come downtown all the time. I actually only come down here when I get invited by friends, or if, you know, I decide to come down and shoot these videos, to be honest. So cars proceeding, and it kind of slowing down. It was highlighting that pickup as blue, so maybe it was just thinking it needs to wait its turn, which is not correct. Going over the line, well, it's not really picking up a lane here. Okay, so it's in the correct lane. I know this for a fact. It needs to stay where it is. Actually, no, I was wrong. It needs to go in the correct lane. Okay, it corrected itself as soon as it heard me. Okay. A little bit janky there, back and forth. No disengagement though. It's like finding itself, even though there's no lane lines in that particular situation. There is lane lines, but they're very faint, and I don't think the computer can pick them up. But we're going to turn left here, and that would get us to our first destination. So I'm going to push it down by the water. because that's always nice scenery for the video. Still going to turn left, still do a bunch of stuff. And then we're going to come back and go towards those pylons or cones or whatever they're called. And we're going to head back that way and see if there's, anything else. Kind of slowed down for that guy walking because the car wasn't sure. It was highlighting in blue, if you guys noticed, and the car wanted to go left, but then it realized it didn't need to go there. So I'm just going to report that kind of like left and right. What I've noticed in this version is that there is a lot of more jolting with the steering wheel, so I feel that's a step word back, like version 10.1, 10.2, maybe even version like late version 9, I don't know. But so we're just going to sit here at this red light. I don't think we can go until it turns green. Or at least I'm not going to go until it turns green if this gentleman in front of us decides to go. But let's see how the car does. All right, doing this left turn decently, and it still picks. It's still kind of all over the place here. It's gotten better since the last couple versions, because before, it would almost like kind of not run into cars, but get close to cars, and people would look at me, and it wouldn't pick the right lane, and it's just like, ugh. So let's see how it does continuing on. Okay guys, so I pulled off over to the side, nothing was wrong, but last couple videos, if you probably heard me talking, I've been having trouble with my microphone, which I like to cut up the videos now and pause them. So the first part of the audio was good to my knowledge. It's playing from the start, so that means the rest of it's probably okay. Same path, same everything. There is no turn on red here, and thankfully the light turned green, so the car is slowly proceeding, a little bit confused. Picking a wrong path. This is old behavior. It's kind of interesting how it's still doing this, but picks this correct lane. This lane you can go straight. If we go straight, we are going into the American-Canadian Windsor-Detroit border, the tunnel. But also this lane you can turn left and head in the direction that I haven't changed on the map, which is actually on the opposite side of this building and goes past my favorite part that we always like to go past. Let's see if I can reroute it here. Yeah, okay, so we can just get farther down. No, no, and no. Perfect. Okay, cool. So then what we're going to do after that is we are going to head towards those, what do you want to call them? So let me just look here on the screen. So the car is proceeding slowly. We got a truck behind us. This car's going. It can go. Does it yield for these cars? Oop. Yes, it was yielding for that car as it was coming, and actually that is, now that I think about it, that is the correct thing to do, even though there's no sign for it. It's just all over the place, a little bit abrupt braking there. Really trying hard to get over. I realized that actually the turn is like probably, yeah, right here. And that's why it's trying to get over, and that's good, because in my Michigan left video, that's a huge problem, but we didn't use a Michigan left. We just turned left, which is not common except in Michigan, except probably just like, downtown Detroit where we are, or the kind of left we just did. So the car's proceeding nicely. Nice turn, lots of bumps though, but nothing the car can do about that. But yeah, it's the car is proceeding nicely, and let's see how it does towards this right turn. It needs to slow down a bit. I mean, I had it at 5 over, but okay. Oh, that guy almost went, and the car didn't even flinch. Yeah, the light is green for us. I don't know where that person was going, but yeah. So kind of nice water. Looks like spring water, or springish water when the water turns that color. But anyways, heading towards Port Detroit. Okay, car is just kind of, yeah, it was kind of going slow through that intersection because the guy was kind of looking at us, but he didn't really know what he was doing. So it should stop here. Good. I remember it's had trouble at this stop sign before. So now it's, speaking of trouble. Okay. So it's just going to sit here. There's no one behind us while I'm doing that, while the car is not doing anything. Let me reroute it towards those cones and pylons, and let's see if we can actually get that situation to pop up again. Okay. Oh, it's like I will shut it off. That's hilarious. Okay. So I'm going to give it a nudge. It is not going through here. Let me report that back to the team. I'm just going to let this play out. I'm just generally curious. Okay, there's a van behind us. I'm going to push the car through and just let off the accelerator. That's interesting. We've never had that at that intersection, but I know we had trouble there before where I had to stop it a couple times in different videos where it's almost run that stop sign. But proceeding nicely so far. That was just honking coming from the parking structure next to us. Nothing we did wrong. And car's going. Yep. That's okay. Okay, we got nobody to our left. Literally nobody to our left. I'm pushing the car through because it just needs to go. It needs to get out of this lane, which it does automatically because that is the 2 turning lanes to Canada. Okay. Good. It did that pretty well. Okay. It didn't need to get in this lane, but it just did what it did. Okay, so these are these pylons or cones. Obviously, the car's picking them up as different from cones. I just call them cones. It's also partially picking them up as cones, and there was construction cones to our left. And the famous red light that it always stops at, which the team still hasn't fixed. That was me pushing the accelerator. Like, that is not for us. It doesn't need to stop there. So while it's a red light, I'm just going to go ahead and change this destination so we can kind of come out of one of these streets over here and actually have the car come out so it can interact with some of these pylons that it had trouble with. So let's see what happens. All right, back with this next part, and we are in a different part of near the water. So car is slowing down, nicely seeing that lady. Oh man, nicely seeing her. It was already stopping. If you guys saw that, you could kind of see her off to the right. The car was stopping early, and then it went around her as she started to come into the frame or into the area. I just wish they would just kind of fix these just turns. And we got some speed bumps. They call it a speed hump. It recognizes them, and that is still too quick, 15 miles an hour in my opinion. We got another set coming up here. I boosted it down to 15 because I don't want to run over them going 25. And it recognizes them, but it's still going. 15 is still too fast in my opinion for the speed bumps or the speed humps, whatever you want to call them. And I'm just rerouting so it just doesn't stop in the middle of the road. So if we turn right here, and then we're going to turn right again back on the street we're on Jefferson, I believe it's called. It's going to go ahead and try to interact hopefully with those pylons or cones that it was having trouble with in the last video. Let's see what it's going to do here. So far so good. Okay. All right, turning right. There should be pylons here. Actually, there was a street over. My apologies for that, but still picking the wrong lane. Yep, it was still gonna run into the pylons, and plus we had an emergency vehicle, so I had to disengage. I'm gonna send that back so hopefully the team can see all of that from the pylons to that as well. I'm gonna run that back again. I'm gonna go a street over and actually get where there's like a lot of pylons and see if I can get that at all. And this guy in a truck is being impatient, but let's try it again. All right, we're back again. Going down that same Franklin Street. We're gonna go ahead and do a street over. I'm pretty sure I got it. Yep, it's the street over Dobis. Speed bump, speed bump, speed bump, speed bump. I forgot about them. Okay, thankfully it went down to 10. I'm gonna keep it at 15. Now it's slowing down for some random reason, probably trying to adjust its speed based on what I was telling. I'm completely forgot about those speed bumps. It was 5 minutes ago. But again, like many of you are probably gonna say in the comments, that it should do it itself. Now that was an okay, like 10 miles an hour is pretty comfortable for me. Okay, so we're gonna pass this street this time, but even with the small amount of pylons, it's just, or whatever you want to call them, speed bumps. Actually, I'm going to disengage here because it picked the wrong street. I rerouted, but I wanted it to go and do the street over, and I did it last minute. Sorry about that. So now we're back. So creeping forward for visibility. I'm gonna let it do its thing because there's no one around. I'm just gonna report that to the team. It doesn't need to take this long when there's literally nobody around. Even when there's people around, like, it doesn't need to take that long unless someone's like in the middle of the road doing something silly. Don't like that it's keeping itself this right because there's a lot of potholes right here that are covered by snow. We kind of have a bumpy road. A little bit abrupt stopping, but it is stopping before the stop sign at a good distance. Okay, that's a little bit of a hole. Thankfully, it was going slow. I thought it came up on a curb again, like in my 10.5 video or 10.4, but that wasn't the case. I'm gonna slow it down here. There's a parked truck there. He shouldn't be parked there. It says no parking, but it's Detroit. I'm not surprised. And here we go. Pylons to the right. Okay. Seems very confused. This time though, this time it picks up. This time it avoided them. Okay, so I think it has to do with us coming to our destination, and it was pulling off to the right, so I think the car was doing the right thing. I'm going to continue on here because there's traffic behind us, and I'm going to find another scenario with these. I'm interested to see. I'm not going to turn right down this street like we did last time. I'm going to keep going because there's plenty of these across Jefferson, and I want to test this because you guys have seen plenty of Detroit in my videos, but we really want to nail. And I think what a lot of FSD testers are trying to nail down is the things that need to be fixed, right? Because if something works, right, and it works good, I think the FSD team's approach right now is that let's leave it and focus on the problems that need to be fixed, right? And then once we can have like a public build or like even move over to like level 3 autonomy, then they can focus on little improvements on stuff that already work and just make it even better than it is. But I think that's where their focus is. So let's go ahead and try finding another situation with these pylons and cones and seeing how it interacts more. And there is a lot of traffic here today in Detroit compared to my other videos, if you notice. So let's see how it does. All right, so I found another street on Jefferson that when you come right out, like the pylons are right there. It's not even like a second after. So this is me driving right now, but I'm gonna engage the system right now. So we get a right turn. We got another lady here. The car's kind of planning a path around her, which is really good, but it just needs to slow down. And that was okay. It went around her. So you're gonna see here in a second, the pylons are right there. It needs to wait. There's traffic. Good. That's the car stopping. I didn't do anything. And right as you turn right, the pylon or the cone is right there. I'm surprised you can't even see it. You can't even like see it on the screen. Okay, the car wants to proceed. It's got a little bit of a gap here if it decides to go. Okay, it was gonna go, but then it stopped because that BMW that's about to pass us right now picked up. There's a lot of traffic here. I should come more on Saturdays more often. There's a car behind us now. And there is still traffic coming from the left, as you can see. So I'm not gonna go after this. It needs to go. like, okay, perfect. It went. Pylons here. Okay, and I think because there's a nice lane marking here, let's see what it's gonna do. Brakes hard for this guy. All right, well, it handled that well. The braking and that section there with the pylons, but I think just because there's a nice lane marking coming out of that street that separates where that pylon is, where I think it's just like a bike lane on the other side of the pylon, and this side it's the street. So I'm trying to think like another section. There are streets here. I'm noticing there's a lot of these pylons. Let's pull over into another one and try it again, see if we can get something interesting. All right, so I found another street going back in the same direction we came from. It's got pylons right away to the right, not even a second later, just like the street we just did this past section of the video. But this one doesn't seem to have like a nice marking coming out of it separating the street. So let's see what the car is going to do. It's a little bit of a hill here, so it needs to wait. There's a really fast car coming here. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to do this. Okay, it's stopping for these cars. It's a little bit too out for my opinion. These cars are kind of heading over to the left because I'm just a tad bit sticking out. Okay, my foot is like literally, like I can feel the brake playing with itself. Or that didn't sound right. You can see that's how close my foot is to the brake. And I'm just prepared just to stomp on it. It can go now. There's no one coming. And yeah, I mean, again, I think it's just those particular roads that don't have markings. This one didn't have a marking either, but yeah, it was pretty good. There was a street here last time. Let's see if I can find it and do a loop around where we turned right going this way, and there was a bunch of pylons like right there in that area, and it like literally almost like kind of curbed it or like kind of like scraped it, and I had to move and disengage to the left. Let's see if we can find that again for part of the video. I know it's back down that way when I went into Hamtramck, Michigan, and I think it was 10.8 or 10.5. Let's see if I can find it. All right, guys, so I found that right turn. There are no streets over to our right here except the one that's coming up in this light, so it has to make a big square around. And where those pylons were very close in 10.8, 10.5, and I went north, which is that way, in one of my videos going that way, that we were turned right for that reason. So let's see what it does here. Marked protected right turn with a nice arrow on the streets. Let me enlarge this for you guys. Good. Picks the correct lane. Doesn't have to go in the left lane, come over here. So I definitely, like I said in my last bit, I gotta come back here on Saturdays. So much more traffic, so much more interaction. It did pretty good there when it had that hill in the last bit and there was like no sight. It probably saw better than me because I know the B-pillar camera's a little bit higher than my head, and I keep my seat a little bit low. Needs to creep up a little bit more. I can see a little bit. The B-pillar's behind me, so it's not going to see as well as me. Turns green. Good. Okay, here we go. Picking another lane again. Yeah, I had to disengage there because it was probably going to scrape it. I think it would have, like, I don't understand why it's not understanding that. It's so weird. So another situation where I guess when it has those pillars in the bike lane, I guess they call it a bus lane too, it needs to, and it kind of has like you come out and there's all this space in the little, you know, freaking cones, whatever you want to call them, are a little bit out. I don't know, they got to improve that. So this is the turn where that car just turned. It's putting on its signal. It's like heading towards them. Oh man, I want to see what it does. I'm curious. Now it's in this situation. You can see on the Pathfinder, it's like beyond confused. Oh my gosh. It wants to like, it wants to go there, but now it's planning a path. Okay. So yeah, I got to disengage. Let's run that back again. All right, guys, same street, Mount Eliant onto Jefferson. We are currently on Learned. I don't know. I'm going to say it wrong. Let's see. Enlarging it, so it should work. Another green light here. We might get the same scenario again. with the lights. It seems like it is, unless, you know, I might just push it through this light if there's no traffic after this van in front of us goes. But I really just want them to figure out those pylons, those cones, and just like fix them. Like I don't understand like why, like it sees them. Okay, someone's running their lease quickly, but let's see. So there's traffic. This is me pushing it through because I don't want to wait. Okay, let's see what it's gonna do. Just okay, it avoided it. It avoided it this time. I put too much force on the wheel, so it disengaged. But it avoided it this time, just barely. Okay, there is a emergency vehicle coming. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna push the car down. We're gonna slow down. It's gonna stop for the car in front of us anyway. So, okay, wow, that was terrible. It was trying to go, it wanted to go. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like the car was pulling to the right and it wanted to almost go through like the middle of these cars, like do like a James Bond type of thing. Like, oh no, that's a no-no. All right, here comes the turn. It's a green light now. Let's see what the car's gonna do. Both hands near the wheel. Yep, same thing again. Okay, this time it's spacing itself out and it just brakes for the red light. So, okay, we're gonna try it one more time. After that, we might go to a different area in Detroit, but there's really not much else that it needs to improve. It just seems like again, I think we're coming down to like really edge cases, because not every city has these type of pylons, and not everywhere that FSD drives in the world is a downtown area or a kind of like centered area. So I'm not going to even clip this part of the video, but I'm just going to run it back here. This is me driving. So let's run it back again. Is it still on? It's not. So let me put in the navigation. Should be fine. Okay, we're good. So we're running this same scenario again, one more time. Maybe third time's the charm, or I don't know. Is that the saying? I don't know. I'm terrible with sayings. Okay, so it does this well. We got a green light this time at this turn, so that's good. So this is the third time's a different scenario. I mean, second one was too. And yep, it just, I don't know, it goes for the correct lane, and then it goes for these, like, it just, I guess it's like attracted to them or something. Like, I don't know, maybe there's good looking to the FSD. I don't know. It picks them up. You can see them as like little sticks. So it definitely knows that they're there and what they are, I think. But we got a green light. Now it's a yellow light. So it's similar to the first interaction, because the second time we went through this, slowly. It definitely did that for the van. That was a big overreaction. Like, he was coming out slowly. He wasn't even in that lane right there. Like, wow. So here you can already see it's jilting to the right. It needs to, whatever it wants to do needs to stop. Yeah, it wants to go around. It wants to go around this car. Like, okay, I'm gonna disengage here. I'm just gonna stop the van behind me. Is like pulling up. So once that light turns green, because if I no, see this person. Okay, let this van go. Let these there's a bunch of people. Let them go. No, that was terrible. And that, if that truck wasn't turning right, because I saw its signal, I would have let it go do its thing. But okay, there's cars coming. All right, so let's see what it's gonna do here. Okay, now it's waiting for this Jeep. Okay, yeah, I had to disengage there just because, I don't know, I felt like it was getting too close to that pylon. So, all right, so we're heading into Belle Isle again. Got a destination set. See if anything has changed there. All right, so we're about just about a half mile away from our destination. So overall thoughts from the drive and driving it for the last couple days since I got the update earlier this week or a couple days ago or something like that. I forgot exactly when I got it. Overall, some things have been improved. Some things are a step backwards, and I feel this version is a little bit more janky, I guess you can say. Some things are amazing. Some things are like, what in the world are you doing? Version 11, which is next, is supposed to be the single stack, and I think a lot of issues will be solved there. Instead of the double stack, and the highway will also be the single stack combined, and also summon. So when that comes out, I'm going to do a version 11 video probably with all of those, because summon has gotten updates but hasn't really improved much. It's gotten better, but we'll see how summon does, because I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but using summon in the winter, it only goes about 2-3 miles per hour, and I think that has to do, I've talked to Tesla customer support, not that it's an issue, but I've noticed that versus the summer, is that the computer is possibly detecting, because the temperature outside is too cold, so it limits itself because of ice and snow, maybe, since nobody's in the car when that's doing that, even though you're controlling it like a remote control. And you know, nothing bad or anything like that, but we're going to test that out. We're going to test out the highway, merging on and off the highway, into city, onto city, onto highway, all of that, along with if everything gets into version 11, right? If everything gets into the single stack, right? If it doesn't, then we'll probably just do another regular video, but that one's probably going to be a big video if all of that summon, highway, city all become single stack. Maybe a lot of problems will be addressed with the single stack. I think it will. I don't think all of them will. I still think we have a little bit of time to learn until this goes public, into a public build, but overall, the version was pretty good. It's nothing, not like a huge step back. I think it's just a step back on certain aspects, certain things. Nothing too crazy or anything like that. So until next time, this is Tony from Detroit Tesla, and take care. Thanks for watching the video.